Welcome everyone to another Slab Stocks live stream here on Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern time. Every week we're here talking about different sports card topics. Nate's joining myself, Aaron, for today's live stream. Nate, welcome.
Nate's joining myself, Aaron. That's a new one.
It's been a long weekend ever since the Wisconsin Dells show. I've been running around and messing up my words. So many things have been said. But if you haven't seen yet, we released all three parts of the Wisconsin Dells card show, part 1, 2, and 3, meaning day 1, 2, and 3. The third one just came out like an hour ago on YouTube. So after this live stream, hop back onto our channel. If you haven't watched all three parts, do it. It's about 28 minutes, I think, of footage between the 3 days, split up into 3 videos. And it's exciting stuff. So with that being said, I mean, we got something else to talk about today, though. So let's get into that topic right away. And all of today, we will be talking about, and then also Q&A at the end, but we will talk about with you all, by the way. So make sure you're commenting in the chat during this video, letting us know your thoughts and different ideas on this topic. What is the future of sports card pack sales? Sports card packs, because back in the day, Nate, we'd walk into Target and just buy whatever we wanted.
Oh yeah, you'd pack feel for that jersey card.
Oh my gosh, man! You just like grab out that one pack and oop, it's thicker, and then boom,
yeah,
get the jersey card.
10-year-old you was wild,
unhinged. But that has changed. You know, now are the days that there are no packs. There are no, at least good packs. I mean, you can go into Target and maybe find some match tax tops, or maybe go and find some magic stickers, cards. Some stickers, whatever it is. You know, not the type of stuff that most of you are probably looking for. So this past week, it was announced that Target is suspending all retail card sales for the foreseeable future. How long do we know? We don't know. It's not permanent. I read it on some tweet. It had to do with some, I think, Target or Panini executive that was speaking about it. Not permanent, but it's a suspension until they figure out a better way to sell sports cards packs, because they had the idea to go and do it. And we've talked about this in past live streams. They had the idea to drop them every Friday at the same exact time nationwide. That does one good thing, and it's it tries to eliminate backdoors, because for a while there were a lot of pictures surfacing of, you know, MJ Holdings and XL representatives backdooring product to different customers, which is not a good thing. You know, if product doesn't ever hit the shelves, what's the difference between it hitting the shelves and someone buying it all out? You know, both times it's going to be annoying that there's no product on the shelves, and that's even worse that it doesn't even get there in the first place. So they try to alleviate that by actually, you know, timing the drop. Well, then you end up having people camping outside Target for 6, 7, 8 hours, maybe even more. Who knows? And, you know, for Target, is it even worth their time or energy to run that when they're making the same amount that they're making now that they were years back, except people are actually buying it now. So I get that, you know, the margin is no different, but people are actually buying it now. Unless the margin might be a little bit different if the Panini is selling for higher now. You know, I don't really know that. But either way, the final sale price is the same. And they are suspending it. But when they bring them back, it won't be the same. And when they bring them back, what will other methods be of sales? Because let's be honest, if they really do change this or suspend this and products are releasing, Panini is just not going to be like, we're not going to sell our product, you know, like it's like, they're just not like, they need to sell it. They want to find different ways to sell it. I know Target's still going to sell online, but this is the issue that brought up, there's like 400 comments on this post. The biggest issue was the bots versus the no bot people. The people that go and buy product online with bots that get, you know, hundreds of orders and then it all sells out in 0.5 seconds. And then the people that don't do botting and try to buy it online and never get a product, which has happened to me a million times in my life. So I'm sure there's a lot of very opinionated people in here that might have opinions on the botting or no botting. But in the end, there still needs to be a way to get this stuff into people's hands in person other than digital sales, you know, online, e-commerce, all that stuff. I know everything's going e-commerce, but there's got to be ways for people to get hands on the product that's not hobby product, because in the past, like, okay, fine, for whatever reason, Prism or Topps Chrome Topps Chrome football is sold out at Target. You go to your LCS and you grab 2 packs of hobby. Well, now 2 packs of hobby is like $400 if it's a certain product, like, so you can't really do that either if you're a kid or if you're even a young adult that's trying to get by and open some cards and whatnot. But there's a couple different things here that can happen. And let's just move on to the next slide, and then Nate can talk and we'll all talk and it'll be good. Right now, here are the current values of these given products. Prism Basketball 2020, 2021 is $140 for a blaster box, which seems insane to me. 2020 Select Basketball Football is $80 a blaster box. And 2021 Top Series 1 Baseball is $30 a blaster box. Now, Nate, what are we thinking here on the reason why? I know that Prism's a big brand, yada, 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 LaMelo Ball, rookie cards, whatever. Do we think that there has to be a little bit of effect in here between the Topps baseball and the Prism basketball pricing because of the amount that was produced? I know Panini's printing Prism basketball a lot, but Topps went like full junk wax with Topps Series 1 this year.
Yeah, I would I would not. For starters, they have to go down. Especially Select. Select is the real problem here. $80 a Select box. And you can get Jordan Love. I know he's the 5th quarterback in the class, but you can get Jordan Love silvers for like $5, Concourse silver. Right? That should have been one of your big cards 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Obviously, Select wasn't a thing. Select hobby retail wasn't a thing, but it's like that's my bigger problem than Prism and Topps is that is so high considering some of the nice cards in there that you're likely to get are so low that it doesn't hold up. At least with Topps, it's $30. They printed a lot of it, but you get a couple good rookies. You get them graded eventually, maybe. And I still imagine they're going to be $50, $60 PSA 10s. As for Prism, I can't really speak on that because I don't follow the basketball market that much. I don't know the prices. So,
well, I'll tell you this: Prism LaMelo Ball PSA 10 base, after like not that many were graded and people are having to pay Super Express prices, I think that they're around maybe $750 to $800 right now. The last I checked was probably a week ago, so it could even be lower than that by now.
And that's the very top guy. And then it goes Anthony Edwards, and then it goes significantly, Tyrese Halliburton, and then down from there.
Yeah. And then also think about Select Football. You open a fat pack, they're guaranteeing a silver in a fat pack. 1 silver per fat pack that costs $10. That is watered down city for Select. And not only that, but the hobby got 2 watered down also with the million parallels and die cuts and club level on top of the 3 levels in the first place. And then die cuts that are in retail only, die cuts that are in hobby only. Like, my goodness, how much can you do until it's too much? And like, the other problem is that if these people can't get their hands on products that are really flipping these boxes at this point, then they're not paying $80 to get that and open it. The people that are flipping them in the first place. So if they can't actually go and buy the product for $20, they're not buying the product at all, which is what's keeping the values of them high in the first place, is buy the product coming off the shelves at that value. So, and eventually people get tired of that. They get tired of that, then they leave.
Hey, I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
I have a question for you. So, we always bring up it's not going to be Junk Wax Era 2.0 because there's serial numbered cards, right? That's always the thing. Not going to happen because serial number. Well, what happens when they come up with 60 different ways to print a gold numbered to 10 and 50 different ways to print a red numbered to 199, right?
Yeah. No, Nate, I totally agree with you. And I think that, like, I heard this somewhere on a live stream. That's all I'll say, is that Panini knows what they're doing. That's what I heard. Panini knows what they're doing. It's not going to go to Junk Wax 2.0. But I'll tell you what, Select Football, that was the worst release I've ever seen from Panini, meaning like going towards that. I think, like, I'm not saying that everything's going towards that. I'm saying some of it is. I think I'm at the point now where I'm like, all right, select football 2020. Yeah, that is just too much. And like I said, watered down city. Like, how many times can you make a numbered or a zebra, a die cut, all that different stuff like before it just is like, well, does any of it matter? And then at that point when it gets to there, it's like only like 3 or 4 parallels matter. And then those are gonna be super expensive, but everything else is worthless type of deal. So it concerns me people if they're paying a lot of money for some of these, retail parallels of a guy like maybe, Jalen Hurts, who is probably more risky than even a guy like Herbert, obviously, in the first place. And then the card itself is more risky too. It's like, like take your money and buy a Contenders auto. Contenders on card auto. It's always gonna be a hard grade. It's always gonna be the same thing, and it's always gonna stand the test of time. It has been since 2000 Tom Brady 2000 Tom Brady Contenders auto. So that's where I'm at on that. And I hope that people either listen or do some research on it themselves to see that, because I'm a little fearful for a product like 2020 Select Football, which will then inevitably turn into 2020 Select Basketball. But
100%.
To say that, anyone that's really out there loves Select, instead of spending money on this new stuff, go buy a 2017 Mahomes field level PSA 10, not even the silver, the base PSA 10.
Simple, just a $4,000 card.
Wait, instead of buying one of the 10 million different gold Herberts, or so you can equate it to every budget level below that, is what I'm trying to say. Just go do that with it. You can do it with who I was going to say Watson, but I know a lot of people probably don't want to buy him right now. So whatever it is, like, you can find that in previous year's sets. And I think that's the play here. I don't think that anyone should be spending even $8. Here's the other thing. Please, and maybe this is just my own opinion. Just my own opinion. I don't want people to have to run and do something because I said it. And we always want to make that clear, is that this is just our opinions. Make sure you do more research, analyze for yourself what you want your decision to be. But there is no way I would be holding Select Football blasters in my closet. There is no way.
No.
I would sell those for $80, and I buy any rare card from the last 3, 4, 5 years before that of a good player.
Honestly, everything from this year I would just sell, flip, and if you want to hold wax, buy a different year.
Yeah, or at the very least, trade up to a hobby box. If you're holding like 50 blasters, trade up to a hobby box. Like,
yeah.
And even then, I would just buy a different year, because the amount of supply on eBay is so rare. Like, if you look up like 2017 Prism Basketball hobby boxes, there's so few. There's so few out there for sale. Look up 2020 Prism, and there's a million. I know it makes sense why. It's from 3-4 years ago. These are now, but I still think like 4 years from now, there's gonna be a ton of 2020 Prism hobby boxes for sale.
Hey, this might be jumping the gun. Do you have a part on what we can do to, figure this out? Because I was going to bring up this Nick Foles comment.
No, that's the plan now. It was kind of going like from here, like, what do we do? How do we? I know we can't do anything, but like, what does the industry do, or what's the plan that if you were in Panini or Topps' chair, how would you get this product out there? Make sure that we're not printing too much of the random stuff.
Well, allow me to start, because I had this thought myself. I worked for, not specifically this, but I worked for a liquor store that also sold rare whiskey bottles. To purchase them, you had to have an account attached to a phone number that tracked what you bought with limits per month. Now, I was thinking about, that's a good idea. I was thinking about maybe having people have to have their IDs scanned, and then it, shows in the system that they bought one that day and they can't come back in and buy another one. But both of these things limit what it shouldn't be limiting, and that is kids. Kids don't have IDs, and kids generally, well, kids probably do nowadays. Kids didn't back when I was a kid, but have phone numbers, right? And, probably like 10 years old and up now have phone numbers, but underneath that, 8-year-old kids, 7-year-old kids that probably want cards don't have that. So what if they just made it just kids? You're not allowed, if you are over the age of like 16, you cannot buy retail cards.
Imagine being 16. I think I'm going to sneeze.
Bless you.
All right, sorry about that. Thank you. Imagine being 16 and just turning 16, and your buddy who's like 15 and a half is like buying just loads of Prism basketball.
Well, no, you'd still limit them to how
I
many they
know.
could buy per time. You wouldn't, obviously they wouldn't have an ID you could scan, but like at least I'd rather have 14. Make it 14. I don't care. It'd be nice for kids to be able to, they can't walk into a hobby shop, but they can walk into 14 is probably not young enough either. Make it 12. 13, I don't know. Be able to walk in. You probably can't limit them, but you can limit the amount of transactions, and the money they have in their pocket probably limits them. I don't know.
Well,
I don't
here's
really
the thing.
see any way through this outside to get kids cards outside of trying to limit it to just kids, even though you're going to have those guys that stand outside Target and be like, "Hey kid, I'll give you $100 if you go buy 5 packs from me, and then I'll give you another 100 on your way out."
Yeah, but here's my thought. Sorry, I'm in the midst of looking up some comps and some cards right now to like. I got a question in the chat. I just want to make sure I have the data in my head when I'm speaking about it. As for the whole kid situation and the cards, Nate, why don't they partner with good LCSs around the country that have built trust that can buy at the pricing that Target can and sell at the pricing that Target can?
Dude, you think if Target can't handle the people lining up, how is your local card shop supposed to handle the people?
No, I agree, but I don't think I get it. But everyone knows that Target's going to have it. I know it takes a little bit more work to find the card shops, but I get that as well. I don't know, limit of 1 per group. I don't know, man. I get what you're saying too.
And I understand that flippers and other people have kids, they have nephews, they have nieces, they have family friends, right? That they would take advantage of to get cards into their hands. I just it's hard to come up with any which way. Like that's my concern. My concern is it's not necessarily the card sales. It's like, how do you come back from this and actually get the cards at retail to the people that should be getting retail cards?
Yeah.
Not 40-year-old dudes or 30-year-old women or 16-year-old kids that should be, buying it and selling it for $80, but kids that would actually enjoy ripping select football.
Yeah, but I think there's still some, you got to keep the business side in it though, too. You can't take it out completely, but we also need to do, our best to help make sure kids are staying in it also. There's two sides of the coin of it, because if it's not a free market and people can't actually, I'm not saying flip these things for 4 or 5 times the money, but at least find some ways to build their way up in the market. It's hard to imagine the industry ever being this big to where kids actually do care about cards, which I know like I did as a kid. I did as a middle schooler, but I was the only one in my school. Now I bet you there's more than that.
That's true.
I do have
nerd.
You say nerd?
Yeah. And probably 4 eyes too.
No, you know me. All right, here's my point about the whole select thing. So someone asked me in this chat. Where was it? I gotta go way back. It was about contenders. Oh, here we go. Aaron, is 2020 Panini Contenders NFL garbage? My answer is no, but it's garbage if you're buying the retail. And I don't like putting down stuff, but I will say that retail contenders was never supposed to be a thing. It's always been contenders hobby, on-card autos, and that's it. And then obviously stickers of the guys that aren't at the premiere shoot and everything who are signing in person. But now they made the retail version where Hertz does have sticker autos and all that stuff. And like that stuff, leave it back, leave it in the past. But if you're buying right now, if you're looking to buy football and you're looking at Jalen Hurts contenders autographs, his on-card auto from the actual contender set. I'm not talking about Optic here, although Optic does sell the most. Here we go. A PSA 9 on-card auto. Y'all know that card right there. Sold for $480. Non-graded select Zebras club level sell for $450. And that's like the 4th different level of Zebras that you can get. So that's kind of my point here is that there's different discrepancies right now in the market that don't make sense to me. That while the going is good for some of these products that are really hot in the flippers' eyes, I don't know if they will be 3 years from now, 2 years from now, a year from now, like that type of thing. You feel that, Nate?
Yeah. Nope.
Is there anything you see here to point out? Because that's what we're doing most of today's show is just grabbing comments, pointing them out, talking about them. Okay.
Yeah, and a lot of people have different opinions on this, and the first one I saw is Michael says kids are not what's driving the hobby, and yes, that's true because kids don't have money, but you kind of want a hobby in 20 years, I assume. And if you're not getting 8-year-olds into it now, they're probably not going to get into it when they're 28 because there's no nostalgia there, right? But I get that comment. I understand that, just selling to kids would affect the hobby as a whole, but maybe that's a good thing. Obviously we have a business in the hobby, so that doesn't really make any sense to say, but we are to a point where, boxes that cost $150 last year cost $600 this year. Or, $750 for a National Treasures box a couple years ago now costs like $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, whatever it is out of the gate.
Yeah, it all correlates to the single prices too. Like we're not just trying to say like I at least I don't think, unless I'm wrong and I need to look at more data, I don't think that box prices have really outgained singles necessarily. I mean, most of those singles have gotten way more expensive. Like especially when you look at Luka
Don't you
base.
think it just snowballs on itself though?
I do. No, I think that they both go together.
Yeah. So if you had a cheaper box, maybe people would be like, I'm not going to spend, $800 on a Prism PSA 10 of.
Right. But that's why I think makes the market smaller, makes the hobby smaller, then eventually doesn't really keep it going too. But I do think that it's still not great, the whole current pricing situation. Let me bring this up now. The flipping is one thing, and I don't really have like super strong thoughts against it, other than like going and buying out targets and stuff and reflipping it all and all that stuff. What I know people do what they gotta do in bots and whatever. Now I don't want to get into that. My bigger issue right now is Panini's pricing on their website. I have much more issue with that than anything else because they manufacture their own product. They know how much it costs them to make a box, yet they insist on pricing it at the absolute top of the market. And then what you do is you actually do take out the flippers. You take out the flippers, you take out the resellers. And when you do that, eventually people don't buy that product anymore from Panini. When people don't buy the product anymore from Panini, they probably don't buy cards anymore from wherever. Then people leave, and then they're on to the next thing. And then you start to see the market starts to shift. And I have a way bigger issue with Panini releasing Hobby at $2,000, releasing UFC at $850, releasing Cron Royale, like whatever it was, $500. Like that type of stuff is not good. Like at least Topps released Bowman at $200 a hobby box this year. I'm pretty sure. And at least that they have their I know that it's closed off, but their Montgomery club, they sold the passes for like $300, which I know that's a lot, but at least that they're selling the boxes of Sapphire to them for like $120. Yeah, Brent, I know UFC is really hot right now and everything. And that the box is at $850, like probably wasn't the worst thing compared to everything else. But let me just bring up a couple other ones, like Hoops Hobby released on Panini at what was that, like $375 or maybe $400? That's down to what, $320? Revolution Hobby released at $365 if I remember correctly. Sorry if I'm off by a couple $10, $15. That's down to like $280. So I really do think that they're pricing their product way too high, and most of the product they've released in 2021 has all went down in price from what they've sold it at, and that is not the way it's worked in the past 3 years. Everyone looks at the past 3 years and it's like, well, if Prism released at this and now it's this, why can't this year's do it too? Well, it's because it was releasing at $400 in 2019 Prism Hobby, and then it built from there. Nate saw it all the time. Nate worked at Brewtown for 3 months, right when everything was releasing. Topps update for $80, like that type of thing.
Which was crazy because Top Series 2 before that point was
$50.
50, and then it went up to 80, and then briefly it went down to 70, and now what's it at? Prism Retail releasing at 150. Prism Hobby boxes releasing at like 350.
Yeah, and Brent, I totally agree. I think Prism UFC is in its own category. It's the first year of its Prism release, and the singles are selling super super hot. But like and I know Formula One boxes are expensive now, but Tops did. I don't think the Tops sold those super super high, unless I'm mistaken. Christopher, this is at least a valid point to bring up. The price high to not cut the LCS's margin. I can't see Panini releasing their product. I know they set the market, but I don't think Panini's pricing their product trying to think about the LCS and what they're making on it, because I don't think that Panini makes any more on what the LCS is selling them for, unless I'm completely wrong and then that they are doing it. But in the end, it would still be more money for Panini, right? If that was the thing, LCS price is higher, we make more money. It's probably not because of the LCS's best interest in my mind.
This is a good point. Isn't the reason people are camping out is because there just aren't that many local card shops as there were in the 90s? And that's fair. If you start taking Target cards and bringing them to local card shops instead of to Targets, that's going to cut out half the population of the United States from getting cards within probably an hour drive of their home.
There's
Targets everywhere. There's Walmarts everywhere. There aren't LCSs everywhere. There's not an LCS in Eau Claire. There's a card shop in Eau Claire where he has to buy secondhand product and resell on eBay.
Yeah.
But it's not a legit card shop that gets allocation.
Right. I totally get that.
So I guess what I'm trying to say is I was 100% for screwing myself out of getting any cards because there's no card shop here.
This is what I was thinking earlier when we started the episode. I was talking about Top Series 1. What if they made retail just junk wax? Yeah, you can get rookies, but keep the silvers and parallels and the hobby stuff. Big money chase hobby. Kids would buy the junk wax. It's a very valid point. You either print so much of Series 1 that's sitting on shelves, or you take everything out of the product that would potentially make it super valuable, and then you make it printed higher, which potentially it's kind of like what they did with this year's Select, but the brand name doesn't correlate where it makes it worth a lot of money now. That's an interesting point, and that would definitely at least put sets on shelves, I think. Make those sets potentially worthless, but at least put sets on shelves. So if Panini is cheaper than LCS, what happens to an LCS? So I know years back, I'm sure card shops could get more product per card shop, but their margins were way thinner. If the LCS has to sell for a little bit less now of their allocated pricing, I don't think that it would hurt them too badly. And in the end, they need consumers just as badly as Panini needs consumers to survive.
I will say this. You can buy cheaper online for a lot of things. You can buy cheaper online for eBay for box prices compared to some card shops. The reason you buy at a card shop is because you want it that day.
And you want support, too. You want to support someone you know and you enjoy and the business and everything. That type of deal.
Yeah. There was one I wanted to bring up, but there's this one. Prices are dropping. Retail is being overproduced. Let's be honest. Hobby boxes are what you want. All these big cards do not come out of retail. Ride the wave. Prices won't last forever. To be fair, yes, generally big cards do come out of hobby boxes, not retail. But I did just see a guy pull a Nick Matan Bowman Chrome Red first out of a cello pack.
A paper?
No, a chrome.
See, that's a little dicey though. Like, why are they doing that?
That's a little dicey because I didn't even get. I got no color except for a gold insert, a green paper, and no auto in the hobby box I bought. So,
yeah, that's wild.
But just pointing out, it's probably a dime a dozen, or not a dime a dozen, like extremely rare happening there. But
right, just like a green poster LaMelo of 25 from Prism, that is like a needle in a haystack. I mean, getting those green posters numbered out of 25 out of a Prism blaster box when they print that many of them, that's like a 1 in a million hit.
Yeah. I do think maybe that's the way to go. You get your LaMelos and you get your Anthony Edwards, and occasionally one in every, like, I don't know, gravity feed box, you get a colored card or something.
Yeah. Interesting. All right. If there's any other thing that we want to bring up here, otherwise we can go to like a general Q&A in a little bit. Should I sell my select hanger and fat packs? If it was me holding them, I would. I don't want to tell you necessarily what to do based on your interest and everything, but I just don't see why holding stuff that so many people have is going to really pay off, and something that's pretty watered down. The reality is all about greed. Panini is greedy, jacking up the market prices because the distributors are raising the prices. Only old LCS stores can get allocations. New LCS have to buy from distributors. Yep, very true. It is very hard to get product these days too. So, places that would get 5 cases in the past might only get like 2 boxes now. So it's a tough subject, and I don't think that any of us have the exact right answer, because
How could you?
I think everyone thought that limiting the amount of packs that are bought would help in some sense. Clearly, that made bigger issues once they started to go to that, weekly schedule.
Yeah.
So
as far as I know, we don't have the answer. Nobody in the chat has the answer. Panini definitely doesn't have the answer. Target and Walmart probably don't have an answer right now. So it'll be interesting to see who comes up with the first solution that actually works. And we'll see if there's ever a solution that works.
I will point this out. I don't know if y'all have actually seen the card show video from today, the third card show video. It's already got over 1,000 views in like an hour, which is crazy. So thank you everyone for watching. If you have the very first cut of the video, now our very good friend Jackson from Full Circle Cards came up to, and I knew him before. He's not very, very nice guy from Wisconsin. Came up to our booth first thing yesterday and dropped off loads of $5, $25, and dollar boxes of cards they had at the show. I'm talking like opulence blacks out of 39, impeccable numbered of 75, D'Angelo Russell jersey auto, that type of stuff. Boxes of that type of stuff to put in the kids packs for the Nationals. So, we saw a lot of kids this weekend. Actually, more so the first day, not that many kids. It's a Friday, school, whatever. It's almost summer, I guess. I don't know. Not being in school anymore, I lose track of time. Not as many kids on Friday during the day, but Saturday there were a lot more kids, and Sunday too, picking through our kids packs, grabbing cards and opening the packs live at our booth, and they were excited about them. Pokemon, they're really excited about too. And Jackson dropped off a load of super nice numbered cards from hobby boxes, like crazy hobby boxes. Really, really cool. Noir, 1-in-1 basketball. And those are all going to kids packs at the National. And we're going to do our part to make sure kids can get cards. If you have a kid and you're going to the National, please stop by booth 695. We're in the corner of the show. But people found us 2 years ago in the corner. And it was popping the whole time. And I hope it's that way this year too. I imagine it will be, especially with these kids packs. If you got kids, bring them over to our booth, and we'll make sure they get some kids packs. And we're going to make sure we have thousands ready to go. And we still have a lot from this show. So it's going to be exciting.
Mike Brown, thank you for the $5 super chat. Aaron, how frequent was trading at the show? More often than usual, or nothing to note?
Well, you can definitely watch the 3 videos, but I would say like I made a good amount of deals. Nothing crazy, nothing super, super crazy. Like the highest sale was like 2,700, 2,000. And then I had a couple smaller ones. Like I'd say a good amount between like 20 and 500. That was fun. A lot of people coming and buying those. But as a dealer perspective, I've done, 6, 7 shows over the last like 2 years now. The number one thing that I've learned, I actually learned it recently talking to Coleman Cards. He actually had a feature on our last video. Really nice guy. He is like in Miami. He's like, hey, as I asked him, like, oh, how's the selling been going? He said, oh, it's been going pretty well. But most of the deals I've been making, I've been willing to take trade back and getting cash with it, cash and trade deal. And I was like, oh, that's a pretty good idea. And the more I started to be willing to look at trade, willing to, take cash with the card, that type of stuff, the more deals started to happen. If you're a dealer and you're not willing to work with buyers or, talk to buyers or give them some dollars off, and it's impossible to build relationships. It's impossible to get more deals done And I think that's really where it all comes into play, is making sure that you're open and willing to kind of test the waters with trades, with sales, with buying, all that different stuff. And people come back and they keep coming back. Like, I think there's a couple of guys we saw like 10 times throughout the 3 days that kept on coming up and doing deals. So it's very fun. Very, very fun. And I would say like Dallas, I saw a comment about Dallas. Is there going to be more selling than buying in Dallas? I think it just depends what the sport is, first of all. Like, people, there's certain cards that went up so fast that are now coming back down to realistic values. That's sure, those cards are getting tougher to move and everything, but there's, they're at those more realistic values now. But there's still certain things that are going up in price. Like, there's opportunity everywhere. And I was just putting together Sam Dunks' video for tomorrow on Slapstacks Pro and stuff, and putting the feature tab as his cards he's showcasing. I'm like, holy cow, some of these modern basketball players that are playing well are actually gaining value. Like, people still are gravitating to dudes that are building on their legacy. And that's how the card market was for years. And that's how it's going to be for years. Vlad Guerrero Jr., great point, Nate, right? Like, he's still stayed pretty consistent, I'd say. I haven't checked in every day, maybe like you do, but.
Well, his prices have dropped since their peak, despite him playing really well. But I think that's just because they went up so quickly. Like, we're talking $1,800 for a Topps Chrome Sapphire PSA 10.
Right.
And now it's down to $1,300.
Yeah, but that's what it was like, 2-3 weeks ago. So it's like, that's what just happens when something goes up too fast, that more sellers come out and sell. That's just how it kind of feels.
I will say on my end, I talked to a number of dealers as I was going through the show, and a lot of them made a comment that it seemed like a lot of people were just looking to trade and not or sell, and not many people were looking to buy, window shoppers as opposed to legit shoppers.
And I think,
of course, I was doing window shopping myself because I was just looking for Hedbert Perez. When I didn't find him, I didn't buy anything,
For me, a lot of the times it's like, it's not like people are running up to your booth with cash in their hands. They're like, take it, take it, take it. It's just not like that. You have to, like, the deals come sporadically, and then once you add them all up at the end of the day, you're like, yeah, that's pretty good. Like that. I mean, that's obviously, I'm not speaking about Nate specifically or a few baseball cards there, but someone that has good amount of cards that are priced them competitively, that's pretty important. And not have all the same stuff that everyone else has too. I need to make that very, very known. You have to have unique stuff. You have to have stuff that people next to you or across the show from you doesn't have, and that's why I do, or at least that's what my goal is. And I think it works out well. People come up and then they're like, oh man, I haven't seen that before. Oh man, no one else has that. Like, I need to make a deal with you, versus the guy 5 boosts from you, 6 boosts from you, 10 boosts, whatever it is, Yeah.
If you have a thing full of Fernando Tatis PSA Top Series 2 PSA 10, you might not sell a card in the entire weekend.
And if it is, it's like 1 or 2,
Yeah.
Not the place to take those cards to sell. And if you are setting up a show, I'd recommend diversifying if you are trying to sell at a show. Now, if you aren't, that's fine. Sell on eBay if you're getting good sales. You all know you've been in it for long enough. Most of you. For those that haven't, though, if you're going to a show and you're planning on setting up, got to have unique stuff. You mean like 38 BGS 10 Mike Trout rookies? Well, here's the thing about that, though. That's 30% of the population. Having 30 Fernando Tatis is like tiny.
Here's the thing about that. I didn't even look at his other cases. I was just so drawn in on the basketball, the baseball, that you saw clearly, Michael. You saw the 2 baseball cases. What you didn't see was the case over that had a dual RPA Michael Jordan. Well, not rookie, dual patch auto Michael Jordan and LeBron. Another dual auto Michael Jordan and LeBron. 3 Tiger Woods autos from who knows what year, way long ago. A Luka Tiger stripe, a Trae Young Tiger stripe, all sorts of just absolutely nasty, nasty stuff that wasn't even shown in the video because I was just looking at the baseball cards. It was unbelievable. And he also had the Marco Luciano Superfractor coming in and a Jason Dominguez red auto coming in. So it's just
crazy.
like
that's
insane.
Crazy stuff. All right. Let's see what else people are talking about in here. Any questions at all, toss them in the chat and we can move on here. Let's see what's up next. All right. really quick, I know I mentioned this right at the beginning of the show, but if you haven't yet, we posted all 3 days of the Wisconsin Dells card show. The first time we've ever done this, a 3-part video series on a card show, and it was super fun. And y'all should check it out right after this video. There's 3 videos live right now, 8 minutes, 13 minutes, and like 8 minutes for you to watch and see how the show went and see the people we met. And really, I know we say it a lot, but if you don't hear it enough, you'll hear it more now. That's really the best part of it all. I mean, we got to spend time with people that I've seen for, multiple years ago in cards, made deals back at the 2015 National with stuff like that, and you get to hang out with them again. There's so much fun stuff to happen at card shows, and if you can come away with having a great time and not just thinking about like how much money you made or what the deals you made, that's really what the important part is. I mean, had some special moments this show with some special people, and it really makes it all worth it. Not to mention that it's just a hour and a half, 2 hour drive for us, which was really nice versus a flight.
And I can also test that because, I did not walk out of the weekend with more money than I had. I also didn't walk out of the weekend with a Bowman Chrome Auto despite having bought a Bowman Hobby Box. And yet I had a wonderful weekend because a lot of great people came up to our booth. So
yeah, I mean, there's people I meet that I've never met before, and they're all really awesome. They're all really awesome. And if you ever go to a card show that we're at, please come up and say hi. We'd love to take the time to meet you and shake your hand and talk to you.
I would agree.
Uh-oh, Dave's got some competition. I see a Spider-Man PMG PSA right there. I own a PSA 9 also. Is it the red one? Maybe it's a Pop 2. I thought it was a Pop 1. But, wow, Dave's got some competition from Charles.
Is Dave still in here? Dave, if you're still in here,
speak up.
So you can fight it out in the comment section.
All right, so I know we spent so much time today talking about sports card packs and where are they going to be sold. Well, we do have a few. What?
I said Dave is in here.
Oh, there he is. Oh, Pot 4. There we go. Well, we have 2 breaks left for tomorrow, and I'm doing our best to make sure these prices are as best as possible for you all, making breaks affordable, hopefully, instead of having to buy like a full case break. You can get into a Topps Chrome Sapphire Formula 1 box and get 1 card for $30. Now, I know that you need some luck involved, but some of these cards are huge. Some aren't as big, but at least it's a pretty, relatively cheap chance to test a new market, test a new card, and see if you can get a cool Lewis Hamilton or Verstappen. I've been learning a lot about Formula 1 this weekend. And then we also still love to bring back those older boxes for basketball. And we're doing 2012 Marquee Hobby box tomorrow. And it also comes with the Anthony Davis rookie PSA 9 giveaway. So going to the playoffs might be nice for y'all. One person out of the 20-pack buyers is going to get the Anthony Davis rookie card. The amount of packs he buys, the amount of spots you get. And there's a few spots left in those breaks, I know. So slapstocks.com/shop to join us to open up some packs tomorrow and just enjoy the hobby, enjoy cards, and hopefully get you all some cards, some nice cards for a good price. Do you have a link? Sure. I'll provide a link right now. Slapstocks.com/shop if someone wants to type it in, or you just wait 1 second here, and I'll throw it in the chat. There we go. All right, and here we are. We will take the last 10 or so minutes to just talk about the market, talk about anything sports cards. Feel free.
Preferably no Target, though.
Yeah, no more no more Target stuff. We just talk for forever. Throw in anything y'all want to talk about in sports cards, and we'll get some discussion going. How do you feel about Chronicles? I don't think it's as flooded as Select. Chronicles, it depends on the sport for me. I'm in love with Chronicles Soccer. Because they put in stuff like contenders, and there's no main contender set for soccer. They put in stuff like Pitch Kings. There's no actual Pitch King set. So everything in there is like pretty rare per set. And if they did that type of thing for football, then maybe. But for me, I like Chronicles Soccer a lot for that reason.
Question, is Chronicles Soccer the one that you could buy for $250 a case a couple years ago?
No, that was Donruss 2018. But Nate, that set's way better than the Chronicles set.
Oh, okay.
How long have Bowman been producing shimmers for? Let's see here. 2014, I think, was the first shimmer, which was not colored and is numbered out of 10. I owned a Aaron Nola auto. I actually think I might have 2 of the out of 10s, or maybe just 1. I did auto BG. What?
You ever see those yellow shimmers from 2018?
Yellow shimmer from
Numbered
2018.
to 10?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I had never seen them either, and then I ran into one at the card show in Miami. I'm like, I've never seen this in my life. And then I just saw one the other Yordan Alvarez the other day.
Right.
It was like a
That's crazy.
one-off shimmer that they never brought back and never had before.
Thoughts on the soccer market dip? PSA 10 Messi mega crack. So for 11K recently, down 30K in 3 months. See, that's the type of thing. Same with the Jordan PSA 10 Fleer 86. If something goes up like from 5K to 40K in the span of like 2 months, you better believe it's probably going to come back down to 11K, which is still higher than the 5K, because everyone that bought before it went to 40K is now selling it on the way down and taking the profit every single way down. And then there's more out in the market. That is just my overall take on any sport, any card that happens to. I mean, you can't even count the amount on 3 hands of Jordan PSA 10s that went up for sale in the first 5 months of the year alone. And that never happened in years past because the card didn't move that much in price. We just have to, remember that's how the market works. That's how dynamics works. In my opinion, from what I've seen, rare low pop soccer cards have been doing pretty well. Especially at shows. I've been having a lot of interest in them still. And I know that there's different segments of the market that, that do well, but it's very interesting to track that type of stuff. Nate, you see anything here?
Nothing. I was hoping for some baseball questions, but
how do you feel Kobe's cards are valued after the Hall of Fame? Will there be a bump in prices? The Hall of Fame induction and like Rookie of the Year awards, unless it's like a super heated race for the Rookie of the Year, just never really do much for me in the terms of a market movement. How long have we known that Kobe's gonna be a Hall of Famer for? Since he was like, winning his 3rd finals or whatever, that type of thing. Like we've known for forever that Kobe's gonna be in the Hall of Fame. We knew it was gonna be on this exact day. I don't think that anyone that won a Kobe because he's gonna be a Hall of Famer didn't buy one in the last 8 months or a year. So I just can't see that being a market catalyst at all. And then honestly, I think it brings out more sellers, to be truthfully honest. So I think that could even cause a dip in price.
Yeah. I was just actually looking at Kobe cards and I was kind of shocked, the 2008, your favorite card.
Yeah.
That thing is on the way down.
Right. Same way though, right? Like same thing, like, card. Even the base PSA 10 went up to like 12K, and then that was from like 2K, like 2 months before and a month before it. Like it just, It's inevitable. It's inevitable. But keep in mind, that's not to say that stuff like that doesn't happen again. And it's actually happened like 3 times over the last like couple, 8-9 months or whatever. Like it's happened before. It can happen again. I'm not saying that every single thing that was hot before will be hot now, because that's just not true. People's interests change. We know that. I mean, heck, how many players have, faded out of the spotlight? Nate, Ohtani cards. Go ahead.
Ohtani. Where do you see that? Oh, goodbye. Can he continue to amaze? He can continue to amaze. He's got 10 doubles, 2 triples, 12 home runs. I mean, he's hitting the crap out of the ball every time he hits it. Average is a bit low. Not a ton of walks. 6 walks and like 48 strikeouts, I believe. I just looked at his stats earlier, so I'm trying to recall these from memory. But I mean, he is blistering the ball when he hits it, and he's not going to get 175 innings pitched this year, but he's going to be pretty stinking good when he pitches. And so, I think there was a really ton of excitement, right, for Ohtani when he started out hot. Now I think it's just going to be like probably a dip and a rise and a dip and a rise roller coaster slowly up as people realize that Ohtani is truly the most unique player in the league and the best player in the league. As for card prices, be careful what you buy. I wanted to cover this weeks ago in a video and I just never got around to it, but there are Ohtani Topps Series 1, right? There's Ohtani Topps Chrome. There's Ohtani Topps what?
I think it's Series 2.
Series 2. There's Ohtani Topps Chrome. There's Ohtani Topps Chrome Update. There's
Bowman Rookie.
Bowman Rookie. There's Topps Update cards. Inside that, there's also the Rookie Debut in Topps Chrome Update and Topps update. There's also his stupid 3-game hit streak card that shows him on it, even though it says 3-game hit streak on it. That can deceive people.
He also has Heritage short print action, Heritage auto, and then Heritage high number base rookie and Heritage high number auto.
Yeah.
And
So
Bowman Chrome auto pitching, and then later Bowman Chrome auto hitting, which was in the Bowman Chrome release, not the Bowman release.
Yeah. So it's just there is 1,000 cards to choose from, and I can, if I were not in the market and just going in to just buy a Ohtani, I'd be overwhelmed completely and totally. And even somebody who's been in the market for a while, I still am kind of overwhelmed because it's an absurd amount of cards.
Yeah, it's like, what do you buy? To me, like, I mean, I love Heritage, so I'd probably go with just like the Heritage action short print, not auto,
refractor or something.
Well, or a Heritage high number refractor, 569, something like that. But still, I mean, I know that more people gravitate to the Topps update foils and stuff for Series 2 foils. And honestly, for the longest time, until maybe recently, that update US 1 card was definitely more sought after than the Series 2 airbrush card of Ohtani. But now I actually just looked up the prices for you today, and his foil with the airbrush jersey and hat and stuff from Series 2 PSA 10 foils well outselling the update foil. So I think that. And here's the other thing, Nate, is that then you start to think like, all right, Rosarena with the Cardinals jersey, maybe that card's gonna be way better than his Rays jersey type of thing. I'm not saying that that's the same exact thing, but that first card that comes out, I feel like in the past it might not matter much for baseball when you have like so many rookie cards, but it's starting to matter, it seems like.
Mm-hmm. And I mean the same thing with like Topps Chrome and Topps Chrome update for Vlad and stuff, and
yep, and then there's
of course that's a little bit of a stupid one because they have Vlad Fielding.
And the update rookie,
yeah,
his Series 2, man. If that card had even just like a gold parallel, that'd be such a nice card. Such a nice card. And there also was his Mojo card. The first Bowman Mega, he had that Mojo card, which I thought was so cool at the World Baseball Classic. Pretty cool stuff. Ivan from the show is in the house. What's up, man? That's such a fun time.
Ivan made a lot of deals at the booth.
Yeah, he did. See, that's the man. That's one of the guys that kept them coming up, just ready for deals, ready for trades, ready for sales. I bought a Holland from him. That's super fun. Nate, this is all you, man. This is not me.
Julio Rodriguez season. You're right. I'm going all in on him. Anything I should be worried about, though? I don't know if you've watched Julio in the last week. I think he had 5 home runs. He's been killing it. And there, from a baseball perspective, I'm not worried about Julio at all. From a playing time perspective, I'm slightly worried about Julio because they have a lot of good outfielders on their team right now in Kyle Lewis, Jared Kelenic, and Mitch Haniger. And, Kyle Lewis won the Rookie of the Year, so he's not leaving last year. Mitch Haniger has 11 home runs in the season, maybe 12 home runs in the season. Maybe if they're out of contention, they're not doing well at all, they trade him. But if that's not the case, then I wouldn't trade Mitch Haniger. That dude's a stud. And then obviously you have Kelenic, who you're not going to replace with Julio Rodriguez, more than likely. So, you don't have room for Julio Rodriguez right now, and you don't have room for Julio Rodriguez in the foreseeable future. And because of that, if there's a short-term injury, I don't think they would bring J-Rod up to play, 8 games and then send back down. They'd probably just bring up Trammell and send him down and bring him up and send him down. And that begs the question if Trammell would just be better value by trading him away for other position they need. But that's the thing I'm worried about is where is he going to play and how soon? Because I just don't see a path forward for him currently with how well their players are playing.
I've got a rapid fire 3-pack here. So, Bill, first, people aren't selling the Jordans and taking losses. This is a great point. The people that bought Jordan over $360,000, like a price over that, they probably are in the situation that they wouldn't be selling it for $360,000 and taking a loss. Those are people that are just wanting the card, have a ton of money, and putting it in the safe for the next 10, 15, 20, 30 years. It's a great point that a lot of people are selling are making hand over fist on these cards right now because they're the ones that had it before. And then the market builds and then it expands in the next 10 years, that type of thing. Next, Henry H. This guy's a smart guy. And I know that he's watching this market. And if he says the market's on fire, I believe him. Aaron, 90s parallel insert Kobe is on fire. Got outbid on 98 Topps Chrome Apparitions Refractor, Kobe Bryant. I know that card's numbered, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's a beautiful card. It's one of my favorite Kobe's of all time. And it hit almost 8,000 auction for a raw copy. Nate, correct me if I'm wrong. You might remember this, but our buddy Cage, I think, maybe he shouldn't have been public here, but he grabbed a PSA 10 for not much more than that, I think. So here's the thing is that the stuff that is really rare, it can go up in a down market, in a down high population market, meaning the PSA 996 Topps Kobe might be down a little bit. But the other stuff is still on fire because people want to get those and stash them, and they're not going to come around all the time. First Bowman or rookie in terms of MLB, Nate, which ones? I know that you probably, I know your answer for this, but what do you rather chase right now? And go ahead.
In terms of MLB,
because I know what your answer is for the prospects, right? Like that's obvious.
I love first Bowmans. I always love first Bowmans, but oh man, I still think I'd probably go first Bowman, but that's probably just me,
right?
As opposed to other people.
Nate,
he is killing it. I was listening to. I haven't looked up his stats myself, but I was listening to whatever is after Quick Pitch on MLB Network, and they said he was like 11 for 16 in AAA so far this season, which pretty impressive.
That's good stuff. What do you guys think about UFC Prism cards? Are they worth investing in? John Jones and Khabib. Thank you. I think that some of this stuff is very highly priced right now, but if you're buying raw and getting clean copies and grading, definitely opportunity for stuff that has never been graded before. And I know the centering is bad on a lot of these, so you better be careful, but there's opportunity. And also I would say there's opportunity in the past sets like 2017 Topps Chrome UFC and other sets like that. I'm not a fan. I'm not jumping into it. It's just not my thing. I've watched like one fight or two fights in my entire life. So not really my thing, but there'll be opportunity for people in there. Guys, there's opportunity in any category of sports cards, non-sports cards. If you really do the homework and figure out what trends, what does, and what grades, what doesn't, like that type of thing. Literally, if you just focus on your favorite thing, you'll find a way to learn it and to make money. And if you look at it long enough and understand it. Nate, is that not true?
Yeah. You just, I mean, and you can make anything your niche. If you're like, man, I can't afford baseball and I can't afford football and I can't afford basketball, you can move your niche right down the line to Formula One racing or to hockey or, anything. And you can learn that really well and probably be, maybe not hockey, but you could be ahead of the curve for people getting there.
Make sure you have a bit of passion for it too, though. At least in some sense, because if you don't, you're just not going to last through it.
I'm glad you brought that up because that's the reason I never bought soccer. Despite you telling me, hey, you should buy this, hey, you should buy that. I have watched now a couple games of soccer, and I try my best to be like, maybe this could be entertaining, but I find literally none of it entertaining.
Nate, you should look up some of these like crazy finishes to games.
They kick the ball around, and then inevitably, for some reason, they kick the ball backwards, and then backwards farther, and then backwards to their own goalie, who then kicks it forwards. And it literally makes no sense to me because everything I've ever learned about sports is you're supposed to be going forward, right? If you go backwards in football, you're losing yardage. You're getting sacked. If you go backwards in basketball, a little bit as you're moving the ball around, but you're getting over and back. Hit the ball backwards in baseball, right? Or if you're throwing the ball back in, it's because they gave up a hit. And
hey, you gotta build an attack, man. You gotta build an attack.
I hate it.
Strategy, dude. Strategy.
I hate it.
Come on. Here we go. That's why you need to sign up for Slabstocks Pro so you can get the information and make informed buys. Shameless plug. Thank you, Magic. That's right. Slabstocks.com. Hit the Slabstocks Pro tab. We have much more sharing on that coming. I'm sorry we didn't have any screen share with Slabstocks Pro today. We will definitely have it in next week's episode. But definitely go check out slabstocks.com/slabstocks. We're dropping Slabstocks Pro in the coming few weeks here. We're going to do our best to make that thing happen as quickly as possible. And we're very pumped about it. It's going to be completely free, no barriers. Just get on there and track sports cards, enjoy sports cards, and track the collection. It's going to be awesome. And there we go. The header by the goalie was sweet. That is what I was referring to.
Wait till Euros, my guy. The games are more interesting during the Euros, I promise. Maybe we'll have to come up with some content where we sit in a room and I watch like 3 straight games and we just live stream the whole thing. We see what happens.
Maybe. we'll see. Hey, Nate, here's what I think you should do, Nate. I think you should buy like 2 or 3 cards of dudes on one team. Just one Euro team. Track them and watch their games, and you'll be just digging into the game. Just
that's not bad. That's not a bad idea.
Just buy like a cheap Mbappe, buy maybe like a Pogba and like I don't know, some other France player to go with, and like see what happens.
It's like the same thing we did with well, I mean, I like minor league baseball, but like for you never paid attention to minor league baseball, and then you owned minor league cards, and all of a sudden you were in tune with every single Forrest Whitley game ever.
Exactly. Here we go. Get some skin in the game. Best way to get into it. I've always said that sports cards make sports way more fun. I've always thought that. You know, you can like you're invested in the game more so than even just the money. Just like you just get tied to these players as fans. And like it's not even about the money. It's like as such a huge Forrest Whitley fan, and kind of fell off the bandwagon once he got terrible and got suspended and stuff, and sold my cards. But like some of these guys, you just build up these you become fans of them, and it's fun.
Just Matt, I've seen you ask this a couple times. If you rewatch, we don't want to get back into it because we talked about this significantly at the beginning of the video. But if you rewatch the beginning of the video, this question will be answered for you. Also, there was Joseph, Nate, more of a Connect 4 guy than a chess guy. I actually love chess.
The funny thing is I'm more of a Connect 4 guy than a chess guy.
Yeah, I love chess. I love sitting there thinking through the moves. I'm not very good at it, but like I love thinking through the moves. I don't mind the slowness of it. It's just soccer is like, and I know you move backwards in chess quite often, but soccer is just one of those things that's just abrasive to what I know of American sports, you know?
Hey, I'll tell you this. The whole way that soccer's set up with the relegation and stuff at the end of the year, like that makes for some pretty intense finishes other than just some tanking to get a lottery spot.
As a person who just watched Ted Lasso, I understand.
I knew you would because of that. All right. One last one here for Corey. I saw him ask it a couple times. Do you think there's more opportunity in soccer raw right now versus the other sports? Because with something about at this point, still so small, even with PSA wait times. The way that I think about it is that there's just less people that were looking to buy soccer, and more cards are coming out of packs raw that people are probably selling for the soccer versus other products and sports and stuff. So I do think so. Plus, I think that the production level is way lower across all products, so that makes for a great opportunity just based on supply. All right. Are we done here? And Michael Brown. I don't think I can talk about Aaron Rodgers anymore. But if you do have the Loop app and you watch our YouTube video tomorrow that goes live through the Loop app, you can see Nate talking about Aaron Rodgers tomorrow because I'm sure, or Wednesday. I'm sure he's gonna be ranting about it.
Oh, I'll be cordial. I'll be cordial.
You have to, no bias. It's a market report video.
Hey, as for Will, Nate, would you go for a big Trout here? I'm tempted with the correction. Have 5 years plus holding, collecting, not flipping. Now we'll see where it goes from here. It got really high. It's now down to like 4,200. If you're talking about like an update PSA 10, it's down to like 4,200, something like that. And you know, it's tough. It's tough to say where the market is going from here because it's dropped so much. You know, can it keep dropping as the summer starts ramping up and people stop spending money on cards to go to the beach and, you know, fishing and stuff like that? I mean, there might be a little bit more room for it to drop. But fishing. If you are what?
He said fishing for trout.
No, yeah. If you are a fan of trout and believe in trout, which I don't know who wouldn't, I don't see a problem with buying right now and holding for 5 years. you might be able to get it for a couple $100 cheaper, $300-400 cheaper maybe. But in the long run, if that $400, that shouldn't matter in the long run, I guess. Though it might matter right now for
this is my own opinion, and everyone else has a different opinion potentially. But I would buy anything of Trout other than the update PSA 10. It's way too volatile for my liking. I want a Bowman Chrome Refractor 175 PSA 9. I want a PSA 10 of that if I'm get loaded at some point. I want a Sterling PSA 9, PSA 8 even. I love that Sterling card.
That's a fair point. I'd rather buy a Bowman Chrome Draft Refractor BGS 9.5 than a Mike Trout Topps update.
Way less money too for the 9.5 Draft Refractor.
And the draft card, I don't like love, but
it's cheap.
It's cheap.
Yeah. All right, let's wrap it up. Thank you, everyone, for watching. I appreciate all the kind comments I see here. Make sure to go watch the other videos from Wisconsin Dells Day 1, 2, and 3. Check out slabstocks.com/shop for the breaks for tomorrow. There's a few spots left in both basketball and Formula One. And we will see you all tomorrow at the breaks start at 5:15 p.m. Eastern time because Chelsea plays at 3:15 p.m. Eastern time in literally a massive game and I have to watch.
What's that game?
It's against Leicester again to determine potentially who goes to the Champions League for next year.
Oh, okay.
So they're playing him again just for a different stake. Nate, are you still a Leicester fan?
I'm a big Leicester fan. Number one Leicester fan.
Nate was giving me a hard time at the show when Chelsea lost. That's the dumbest thing I've ever seen, the offsides. All right, whatever. I'm done with it. See you guys. Thank you all for a great show.